like I said, it's a bit like, even for me, this is a bit random, but I figure it's quite good fun. It's better than my bird box I wanted to do as a builder's bum, but probably only just. The editor didn't go for that idea. Okay, it's an absolutely foul day outside. There's ice and snow outside. I am full of cold. You're gonna hear me sniff and cough through this video probably. I was gonna do some work on the estate I work at as a carpenter today, but I got sent home because I was feeling so rough. And we had to do work in a little bathroom, and I didn't want to make my mate ill really, so we said we'd delay it for next week. So I thought I'd come into the workshop. I've got the heater going. It's really quite nice in here, probably warmer than the house. And I was gonna make a carving project for a magazine article I got coming up. I make and sell lots of these little bird feeders, all made in the UK, made by me, uses a little strip of wire and some offcuts of wood. I quite like it. I love feeding the birds anyway. I think it's a really nice thing to do. But in my head, I got like an idea for making a fancier bird feeder, just for fun really. And what I was going to make was like a crocodile's head, open, with the mouth open, and the birds could come and sit on the teeth and peck at the seeds. That was my idea. Maybe have a little wired meshed off bit that would work for, you know, holding some nuts in there, or maybe just to scatter some seeds in there. I've got this piece of sycamore. It's quite thick, but I figure I can carve out the eyes and the nostrils and stuff. I was going to do sans teeth and then add the teeth in. That was my plan anyway. Like when I'm in, I think I will cut myself a little template out of a bit of ply, just on the bandsaw. The other day I was cutting some bits and pieces, and I did put a good slice into my bandsaw because the blade was a little bit blunt and I was pushing a little bit too hard, and how I didn't cut the tendon I still don't know. So I will say, even though the bandsaw seems safe, just really be safe with it. Okay, so this is kind of like the concept for it. It looks a bit goofy. I've put a couple of dowels there for eyes. I've got a wedge in there to show its mouth open. Whether I hinge it, I don't know. I guess that would be quite a cool way to fill up your bird feeder. It'd also let squirrels in, wouldn't it? But never mind. So I think I'm going to cut out 2 pieces of sycamore now with this kind of template. And then we can start shaping the top piece for starters. The bottom piece will be a lot plainer, I think. I'm not too worried about how, it's not going to be like super realistic. It's for birds to eat food out of. Why am I choosing sycamore? Because it's a really nice wood to carve, and I've got a big piece of it. Is it the best wood to have outside? Probably not. Probably better off in oak or something. I'm feeling pretty weak this week, so I figure sycamore will be fine. I'll put it in like an undercover place if I'm going to have it somewhere. I've got plenty of like little sheltered areas. Good few coats of oil on the outside, and it'll be fine. What I've done is I've cut out that shape, taped it back together, make it nice and square to go on the bandsaw, and I'm going to make lots of curved cuts. My bandsaw isn't really good enough at this kind of height, unfortunately, although it's not that high. It shows. It was a bit of a hobby machine when I bought it, but I mean they're quite expensive now. So I made lots of curved cuts so I can knock out the waist around, so you've got the eyes. Obviously there'll be more in the middle, so we can shape stuff up. And down there and then around the nostrils is the plan. So we'll give it lots of little cuts, and it should just make removing the waist just a bit easier. And maybe I'll do some angle cuts as well. We'll see how she's cutting really. It's a new blade, so it's not so bad. Obviously, it can all be done by hand. It does take longer. I'm always I'm always up against it. I use something I haven't used in a while, actually, probably in about 10 years. I've got one of these kind of carving discs that goes in the grinder. I've got it in my cordless grinder, actually. A little bit more controllable, not quite so powerful. And what I've just done is a couple of test little shots. Now, unfortunately, can't get any dust extractor out. I've got my air scrubber. I'm going to have that running in a second. You can see you can make quite controlled cuts. What it does mean is, so where I've kind of roughed this out with the bandsaw, it should mean I'll be able to shape this now. Let's get a few more, like get it looking a little bit smoother around there. So let's see what I can do. Like I've been tarred and feathered. Right, take the hat off, give you hat hair. So there you go, kind of really rough shaped. Kind of hard, I keep looking online what crocodiles actually look like. The eyes kind of slope a little bit that way, so I've tried to make the bridge of the eyes, we can carve something in there. It doesn't have to be too detailed, it's a bird feeder after all. This is a bit of discoloured, you know, it's got some stuff for it, kind of like that. I think that's going to work really well for it. Yeah, so I think tomorrow we'll get carving some scales over this, smooth it all out, maybe some rasps, some sandpaper. It doesn't have to be with carving tools. I wonder if we will just scurry up the bottom with that thing as well, actually. So I kind of shaped the inside of the mouth there to stop the seeds falling out quite so easily. And now I'm just going to kind of round over the underside with the same tool. You're not going to see that, hopefully. But just kind of round it out, make it look more like a jewel. Okay, next step is to add some detail. So I've drawn on an eye. I'm not sure how this is going to go, but I'm going to carve out the middle of that eye bit there first, set it back, and then carve an eyeball and try and get that kind of reptilian slit in it. But yeah, try and carve it back first. Excuse the fan going, just got the scrubber on still. So just kind of use the V tool, just outline it really, going with the grain if you can. Just trying to go around the eye a little bit and then just set it back and then like the corners of the eyes be a little bit deeper, just to give it that kind of sense of depth, really. I suppose the eye is probably the most important thing. What I didn't want to do is make the eyeball too small. Right, let's do the other eye. Quite pleased with how that one came out, actually. Probably just as well. Raise it a little bit. Go around it. Try not to slip. Looks a little bit like a crocodile, hopefully. Might be a good one to put a bit of wax in it to like pick out the detail a bit more. So we'll just detail this other side. We've got our little crocodile. Makes me forget that song. Hippopotamus. I quite liking him. He looks quite nice. So we're going to put some teeth in him now. So we're going to have teeth around the front, teeth around the sides. And I know the birds have got to kind of go in between them, but it's only like fawns, isn't it? And I've got this bit of 6mm dowel I managed to find, which is quite good because I was going to carve each tooth, but I think I'm going to knock it in. Cut it off with the coping saw. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to mark a kind of like centre line round where the teeth will go. And we can rub that line out afterwards. And we're going to drill some holes. And we'll put some in the top as well. Same kind of dealio. And then we can just drill ourselves some teeth. It's a bit of dentistry, really, isn't it? And then we'll bung it in. We're just going to cut it off with a coping saw, I reckon. And then we can just use a Stanley knife to kind of tell you what, let's blob a bit of glue in there as well. Oh yeah. Does it look mean? I think it does. Right, let's add some hinges to the back. I'm not gonna mortise these in. It's into end grain, it's horrible to do. Actually, one hinge is plenty. Right, I'm going to oil this up now. I'm going to use some tongue oil. She's looking quite nice, I think. Looking quite mean. I was thinking about putting a wire mesh in there to hold more birdseed, but I think, in all honesty, just fill it with birdseed, kind of let them have what they want. That's what I'm thinking at the moment, because it looks quite cool. So I'm going to treat it with tongue oil. Always difficult to know what oil to use, isn't it? I think tongue oil will be fine. It's food safe. It's probably better for outdoors maybe than raw linseed oil. Okay, so this was a really fun project to make. I've really quite enjoyed it. I liked getting the carving disc and the angle grinder was really good fun. It just allows you to shape stuff really nicely. But I don't think there's any denying this looks like a crocodile, hopefully. It was fun. It was relatively easy. Didn't take that long. And I think it makes quite a quirky bird feeder for the birds to come up and just take their little seeds out of there. So thanks for watching this, guys. If you enjoyed it, please give me a like and a thumbs up. It would mean the world to me. And thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.